Good evening and welcome. The year 2020. The brewery, Driftwood Brewery. The beer is Singularity. It is the barrel-aged beer from Driftwood. The year is 2020 for it. It has been aging in here for over 5 years. The beer of infinite density. Coming in at, I think it was 10% ABV. Double check here, 10% ABV. This beer has been in here for a bit. It's been in my mom's fridge for a while. It was gifted to me by someone on my 50th birthday, and I couldn't bring it back. So when my family was out here visiting last week, they were nice enough to bring this back for me. So, since they were so nice to bring this back for me, I thought I'd open it up finally, because I didn't get the chance to finish it off on my birthday or even try it on my birthday, and share it with you guys. Now, normally I was going to hold off on this, okay? I was not going to drink it. I was going to let it age a little bit longer. But because of what happened yesterday, because Ozzy Osbourne passed away, if you guys don't remember, I'm opening this up in memorandum of him, the Prince of Darkness. Since this is a black label from a very dark beer, then guess what? This is dedicated to him. So, that being said, let's get this poured. Ignore the puppy dogs. Ooh, we still have carbonation in there. That is looking really nice. Alright, so what we've got here is a very dark looking beer. No light coming through that whatsoever. Lots of head off there. 3 fingers worth of head. Plenty of snap, crackle, pop. The smell. Oh, it's smelling barreled. Oh, it's smelling like bourbon barrels. Ooh, I like that smell. Got that bourbon coming off of there. Touch of, it's been in the bottle for a while. With a little bit of, yeah, soapiness. Well, does it hold up for the last 5 years? Let's find out. Cheers. And Ozzy, you'll be very well missed. A lot of people have, yeah, a lot of people have said their condolences online. Cheers. Oh, wow. Okay, first of all, the body. Singularity bodies have always been a little thin. This is pretty much the same thing that you'll see, is the Singularity body is a little thin. It's light to medium. But the carbonation is still there. Ooh. And it kicks you in the teeth. Wow. The flavor. Big, bold bourbon notes off the front. Then you get a chocolate, followed by coffee, followed by it's been in the bottle for 5 years. You do have that bitterness at the very end of it, that it's been in that bottle for a bit. It's been in and out of refrigeration. This is at room temperature right now. I've had it sitting out for a couple of days because I didn't want to put it in my fridge, because I want to drink it at room temperature because it's a stout. Lots of bitterness coming off there, so you do have that licorice. You have that other bitterness that comes through. The bourbon does come through at the very beginning and then dissipates. You have a small sweetness of a chocolate and some coffee notes, but more of an espresso coffee note that has like that very bitter coffee note. It's been a while since I've had one of these. Almost 2 years to be exact. I had I think he brought over the 2017 and he brought over the 2020. I had the 2017. That's a sipper. Definitely a sipper. It is something that I don't think I'd be able to have a lot of, but over a warm fire or anything else like that, I'd be able to enjoy it. I have no idea where all these ants are coming from. Now, I kind of wanted to reflect while drinking this beer about my experiences with seeing Ozzy. Knowing, God, because a lot of people reflect about Ozzy. My first introduction to Ozzy was back in grade 6, where some classmates decided to do an air metal. They had an air band contest. You get these other ones that are doing Duran Duran or these lighter rock or pop people doing their stuff. Now, here's the thing. These guys came out and they did Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Had this whole plastic set of drums, had this air guitar, had whatever else, and they were having fun with this. 3 people doing this air band thing for Crazy Train in an elementary school. And it was Ozzy Osbourne. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But then I asked, and they went and grabbed, it wasn't a bat, but they had a toy frog, if I remember correctly. No, actually it was a bat. And they filled it with jelly, cut the head off, filled it with jelly, and bit the head off and threw it into the crowd. Well, that kind of got the teacher's attention real quick. But at the same point in time, it was basically classic Ozzy, is what it was. That was my first real introduction to Ozzy Osbourne and his music. My second real introduction to Ozzy was my dad had the Diary of the Madman album. Album meaning record for you younger folks. Not CD, not tape, not MP3. Record. LP. And I fell in love with that album. Mostly Diary of a Madman, because it was unique in the way they did it. They had the singers at the end of it. They had just this build up. And then just this great finish to it. The whole album was good, but that was my favorite song off of that album. From there, I knew that it never fails. I film outside and there's something making a noise. I knew that I had to see him live. I knew I wanted to see him live. And I did. I actually saw him 3 times live. Well, 3.5. I saw him twice as the solo Ozzy Osbourne. And then one time he came out, he sang 3 songs, and then he had to leave because his throat was killing him, and they had to cancel that concert. They did a new one, but they had to cancel that one. It was in Vancouver. And this was shortly after Guns N' Roses had that riot hit Vancouver. So there's a little bit of skepticism about, because this happened, is there going to be another riot? Thankfully, there wasn't. There was basically, we basically all got up, left quietly. Therapy with a question mark at the end was the opening band. I can't remember who the opening band was for the second time they came around. And we all left quietly. Zach Rhodes, Zach Wilde, not Zach Rhodes, because there's Randy Rhodes and Zach Wilde. Zach Wilde came out and said, "Sorry, man, Ozzy's not doing so well. We're really fucking sorry. He wanted to continue, but his voice is gone. We can't continue. Doctors have now said this show has to stop. We will be back, we promise." So everyone filed out very calmly. No riots, thankfully. And then he came back a couple of months later and put on one hell of a show. He still had his little shuffle going on, but he sat there, grabbed water guns and sprayed the front, grabbed buckets of water and sprayed the front, had the best crowd interaction you ever see. He gets people going, gets people clapping, gets them up, gets them going, fucking screaming, yelling, just clapping, doing whatever. It was just, it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And then I saw him in Calgary here. And I remember trying to sell a ticket, or I got a ticket because somebody said they wanted it. And then from there, what happened was they decided that they didn't want the ticket anymore. So, well, it's not that he didn't want the ticket, he ghosted me. The fucker ghosted me. He said, "Yeah, I'll take the ticket." I kept asking if he's showing up, if he's going to pay me or anything else like that. It wasn't a cheap ticket. It was like $90 at that point in time. And it was up in the nosebleeds. So it was still an expensive ticket. So he never showed up. So we got someone else to come and get the ticket. And I can't remember the opening. I think, if I remember correctly, the opening act was a super band, but I can't remember who it was. You know what? When I remember it, I'll put it down below, because the name is on the tip of my tongue. And they did a couple of albums and then just went their separate ways to go to their original bands. But Ozzy came out afterwards and blew the roof off the place. And just, he did his whole thing, but he was shuffling a little bit more, because this is about 6-7 years later. He was shuffling a little bit more, having a little bit more movement, but he was still out there rocking it, giving it 130,000% like he always did. And just basically had a great, great time. And that was in the early 2000s. The first time I saw him was probably 1994. I never got to see him earlier than that. I wanted to, but these were the earliest times I got to see him. From there, I got to see him one last time, and I got to see him with the original members of Black Sabbath. And this was the last tour that Black Sabbath ever did. So it was 2010, 2015, I think. I can't remember. It was a while ago. I have the ticket downstairs still. But we got to see him at the Saddle Dome, and he just had an absolute blast. We loved it. The opening band was a 3-member band, and they were amazing. And it was a great time. Like, I loved all 3 times I got to see Ozzy with Black Sabbath and as a solo. So he was up there in my top tier of concerts I've ever been to. I've been to a lot, and I loved it. He was always charismatic. You know what I'm saying. He always had a lot of life on stage. There we go. He always had a lot of personality. Even when he was feeling down and out, he had the best persona. He had the best stage presence. He had the best way of getting people to just do what they wanted to and just sing their hearts out. Every single time I walked away and I did not have a voice. It was a great, awesome time. Now, I've watched his show, The Osbournes, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I've watched Jack Osbourne's shows, and the whole family is amazing at what they've done, including Sharon. I did not get a chance to watch the final concerts, back to the beginning, but I do have it. So I'm going to be sitting down this weekend and watching all 10 hours of it. And I'll be probably really enjoying it and trying not to shed a tear. So, honestly, this is one of the best beers I thought I can have while reminiscing about the Ozman himself. And just knowing that he's left a great big hole in the world of music, but also helped out so many different musicians out there that loved his stuff. His antics were crazy back in the 80s. His antics were crazy in the 90s. He started to calm down in the 2000s. And he basically was something of it. He is a true music icon. So for that, thank you, Ozzy. Rest in peace. And yeah, this beer, tasty, good, it works. The score for it is going to be a very formidable, you know what, let's go 9 out of 10. It's really good. It hits the spot. It does the trick. Little light bodied, but you know what, whatever, I can look past that. This is a great year for it. It's something that I've always enjoyed, and the hard part about this is the Singularity now comes in cans, which kind of sucks. I kind of like the bottles because you can actually hold those bottles for a little bit more and not have that tinny taste in the cans, but that's just my personal itch and gripe. So I'm going to try and find Singularity for 2025 and see if I can get it. It never comes out this way, so maybe I can try and order it or have someone pick it up for me and send it out to me. Friends, family, I'm just throwing that out there. So, tell me, have you had this one before? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Again, from Driftwood Brewery, we're looking at the 2020 version, the Russian Imperial Stout. Right. It's a Russian Imperial Stout, so the bitterness is in there. Never mind. I'm just catching up now. Coming at 10%, it is a Singularity. It is a very solid beer. It is something I've always enjoyed. And yes, Russian Imperial Stouts are lighter in body. Forgot about that too. So, my score stands at 9. It is still a really good beer. It is still solid. It is still something I would gravitate to over and over again. So I do thank you for a little bit of a longer video. I kind of just wanted to sort of share that with you. about Ozzy. And yes, it will be in the title, so do be aware that it's a longer video because of my stories for Ozzy Osbourne. He's one of the people that got me into metal music. He's one of the guys that got me really interested in music. And he's one of the guys that wanted me to search out more heavier music because of his style. So, Ozzy, again, thank you. We'll miss you. Till next time, I am Dan, aka the Western Canadian Reviewer, saying cheers, stay frosty. We'll see you real soon. Thanks again for joining. Have yourselves a wonderful and safe evening. And by all means, if you have an Ozzy story, please leave it in the comments below. I love to read it. If you've had this beer, leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear what your thoughts of this beer is. And until next time, cheers and be good. Stay frosty. We'll talk to you soon.